Good afternoon. Welcome to our Edgewater Community Update meeting for April. I'd like to start with an opening prayer, and if you'll join me in prayer, I would appreciate it. Holy One, we thank you for signs of hope all around us. We thank you for the greening of the earth and the many colors of spring. We are grateful for the ways that life reasserts itself after long periods of dormancy and hibernation. As we thank you for those who have been fortunate enough to receive their vaccines, we also pray for those who are still waiting and ask for the wisdom to be equitable in our systems of distribution. As we celebrate the growing freedoms to travel, work, and gather as we did before the pandemic, we also pray for those whose lives were constrained, whose jobs did not provide a living, and who lived in isolation as a normal routine. Open us to the possibilities that emerge when we are mindful of your plan and your priorities. Lift us out of the mire of our hopelessness so that we might see the potential for resurrection, even as we watch the tragedies of life unfold, so that in the midst of death and hate, we will continue to point to your new day. Amen. And now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Stephen Herwig, President of the Resident Association.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Executive Council, I want to send greetings to the residents of independent living. I look forward to the time when we can get together in the Performing Arts Center for in-person community meetings, hopefully later this year. What I did want to remind you about is that our meetings are open to any of the residents on the independent living side. We meet at 1 p.m. on the first Monday of the month, and we meet in the executive conference room. So if you would like to come, I would appreciate if you would call me. My number is 2468, just so we can have enough seats to accommodate our guest. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I just have a few things to share with you today. A lot of it is about programming that we have going on. We have a new special events calendar that was put out into your mailbox. This will let you know of the special events for the month, so you will be able to save the dates and plan accordingly. And one of the first things on there is Earth Week that is coming up later this month. So check out that special events calendar as well as your weekly calendar for a lot of fun-filled week of celebrating Mother Earth and doing things well for our Earth. Another thing that we have coming up is Wesley Wheels. We are going to be starting to take bus trips again, but they still have their restrictions in place. So it will limit to 12 passengers for our bus trips. So you will find sign-ups and it will be for the first 12. I know our bus holds more, but we are accommodating their restrictions. The next one is going to be a lot about just signing up of things. Edgewater Coffee, as well as other events, will be limited space as we are in the event center. So it will require you to sign up in the activity book. You can do this ahead of time. We are going to be keeping track of who signed up and who didn't. So that way we can have enough room for everyone because it is limited seats. We are working on, and I think Jenna just actually figured out a way that we are going to be able to stream all of this information to channel 991. So when before, for the last year, we were doing everything through channel 992, that live streams directly from the PAC. We will not be able to utilize that during the renovation. So we have channel 991 for our documentaries, for our exercise, for live broadcasts. So that will help us keep engaged. And for those of you who cannot be in person, we'll still be able to see all of those events. My next slide is just birthdays that we are celebrating during the next month before we are together again for our community update. It is a little bit smaller of a month, but make sure that you wish everyone a happy birthday on the list. And if there is any special gift or thing that you would like, just let us know. I'm going to pass this on to Terry now and he'll come over.
Good afternoon. A few things I'd like to go over. Chef Mark and I have been working on menus for both the Terrace and the Bistro. We hope to have those ready to go in May, early May. We have added a daily vegetarian/vegan item to the feature in both the Terrace and the Bistro, Monday through Friday. It's available all day long. And in the Terrace. They've been really healthy and delicious, so please partake in that. I have a special shout out to the culinary team and service staff for their efforts opening the restaurants. I've heard a lot of positive feedback on both food quality and food service, so thank you for that good feedback. I appreciate it. As a reminder, in the Bistro, calling ahead early for deliveries to avoid delays in service. Try to get your order in before 4 o'clock if you could, please. And we will start deliveries at 4:30 to 5. Starting April 12th, we will resume to-go pickup service in the Terrace restaurant. Please call 2990 before 5 p.m. to place your order, and the pickup area will be in the pub seating area right now. As of now, no delivery will be available at this time, but that may change as things go on in the future. And that's, Connie's up next.
Good afternoon. As you can see on the screen, we have several apartments available. They do happen to be our 5 smallest square footage apartments. So we've got everything from a foxtail to a topaz. The foxtail and the asters are 1 bedrooms. The amber, citrines, and topaz are 2 bedrooms. So if you know of anyone who is interested in taking a look at Edgewater, it's a great time in that they have a lot to choose from, even in size. So we are still giving in-person tours and virtual tours. So whatever their preference is, we'd be glad to accommodate their needs. And in fact, we've created a few videos. We have now 5 floor plans that are available for video tours, and I can send those to them individually, and we will be posting them on our website soon. So, and it's the amber, the citrine, the topaz, and the ruby that they can take a look at. As far as assisted living goes, we have 1 apartment available right now, and it's ready for move-in. In memory care, when they move the residents back into memory care after we get our remodel completed, then we'll know if we have an opening or not. So I believe we have 1, but we have a waiting list. So we will call those people on the wait list first. And those are internal residents. So that we'll keep you posted on. This is a record list. We have a lot of new residents that will be moving in the next 30 to 45 days. Jean Kirk moved in last Saturday. She's in apartment 2311. John and Sally Long will be moving in toward the end of the month. And I should back up. Jean's coming here from Scottsdale, Arizona. John and Sally Long are from West Des Moines, Iowa. And then we have Sharon Luther and Cindy Maloney, who will be coming from California. We've got Pam Bell, who's coming from Windsor Heights. You may recognize the name. Pam and her husband Grant owned Bell Brothers Heating and Cooling, and Grant passed away about a year ago. So Pam's going to join us. Wes Jordan will be moving in, again, a name that you may recognize from the area. Wes owned Jordan Motors. David and Becky Garrison are coming from Fort Myers, Florida, and I know several of you have second homes there, so maybe you know the Garrisons from Fort Myers. Bob and Lucille S'mores are moving here from West Des Moines, Iowa. They don't have far to come. And then we've got Steve and Kay Howard from Des Moines, and Bill and Susan Wickemeyer. So you're a lot of new faces soon. You'll be seeing them in the hallway. So give them a warm Edgewater welcome. I know you will. You always do. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. Just a couple things we want to go over going on here at Edgewater for some ground stuff. We're going to be doing the cleaning of the garage, which we do every year in April. So cleaning dates are going to be for the 1,000 side of the building will be the 27th of April. The 2,000 side will be the 28th of April. And for 2,000, the expansion garage will be the 29th. So vehicles will need to be removed from the parking structure for that day. It is recommended that we get those moved the night before because they will start at 8 a.m. And if you're not an early riser, you don't want to be trying to fight that. But if you do need assistance in moving your vehicle, please feel free to contact the maintenance office, and our extension there is 2553, and we'll do what we can to help you get those vehicles out. Another fun thing to talk about, since we do live in Iowa, is a good opportunity to talk about tornado safety. So just a few things with on our independent living side, also tornado watches and tornado warnings. A tornado watch is when weather conditions are right for a possible tornado. And a tornado warning means that it is at that point that we need to seek shelter immediately. So some basic procedures for over in independent living: you want to shut off any appliances and faucets that we're using, and proceed to the nearest stairwell and exit towards the parking garage. Please do not use the elevators. If you cannot leave your apartment, you can choose to shelter in place, and at that time you would want to shelter in one of the bathrooms, preferably one if it has a bathtub, and take any pillows and blankets that you can grab with you. Also recommended, grab a flashlight and your cell phone with you if you have one of those. Stay away from any windows, of course, because we don't want to be any flying debris, and make sure your main door to the hallway is shut. And stay in that area until you either receive a signal or somebody comes by and lets you know that the threat is passed. So over in our assisted living as well, same things, tornado watch and warnings. Procedures to follow there are a little bit different. If you're on the second floor, which is the third floor, you'll want to proceed down to the second floor. If a resident cannot leave their apartment, we recommend, again, shelter in place in the bathroom. Also bring pillows and blankets, and a flashlight and your cell phone. Our Beacon Springs area will always be evacuated out into their hallways, and it'll be the same for them. Make every effort to remain calm if you can, and any staff will be there to assist as well, and that'll be in independent and in assisted living. And you just want to stay put until there's a signal of clear and that we know that any tornado or possibility has gone by us. And next, I'm going to turn this over to Jenna, and she has some great information to talk to us about on recycling.
All right. Thanks, John. All right. If anyone has tuned into my recycling PowerPoints in the past, you've pretty much seen all of this, but I'm going to do a quick overview of the best ways we can recycle at Edgewater. So how we can all be better at recycling. I found this quote: "It is the greatest of all mistakes to do nothing because you can only do little. Do what you can." So really focus on doing what we can here at Edgewater when it comes to recycling. Since it's Earth Week coming up, we know that plastic, I can take this off. Plastics are one of the biggest contaminants of our Earth. So a few things that you can do to recycle. If it has a lid and it can twist, you can recycle it. So keep the cap on as well. Medicine bottles that are from the pharmacy or over the counter, you can recycle those. Soda and water bottles, soap dispensers and their pumps, squeeze bottles like ketchup or mustard. Things you cannot recycle are your berry containers, your Tupperware, plastic bags, and those coffee cup to-go lids. I'm going to have a list at the concierge desk, so you can go down there and grab one that has basically every single item that you possibly could have, and if you're able to recycle it or not. Next up is glass. You guys all know that this is a big one. We want to recycle our glass. Bottles and jars you can recycle. You cannot recycle your drinking glasses, your broken glass, or your ceramic dishware. Metal. Two biggest things: aluminum beverage cans and tin and steel cans. And you cannot recycle aluminum pans and foil. I thought that when I first moved here to Iowa. I was so good about recycling the aluminum pans that we got from Edgewater. And then I did this presentation and I found out that I was doing it all wrong. So it's never too late to start being a better recycler. Then paper, this is a big one. I'm not going to list them all, but those cardboard coffee sleeves, you can recycle those. All of your mail, pretty much all your newspaper, your magazines, the envelopes, even with the little clear plastic seal, you can recycle those. Shredded paper has to be contained in a paper bag. And the things you can't recycle when it comes to paper are those paper coffee cups. Those are a no-no. Napkins, Kleenex, and paper towels, and receipt paper. So those plastic bags that we all get, there's a whole list. I'm not going to go through all of those, but there are stores right near us that you can take all of those to. Target on Mill Civic, the Hy-Vee Health Market, they all take your plastic bags. Simple recycling. These are 3 rules you can follow. Recycle empty bottles, cans, paper, and cardboard. Keep foods and liquids out of the recycling. Keep your plastic bags out of the recycling bin. No bag recyclables. And remember, you should never place an item in your recycling container if you're not sure it's an approved recyclable. When in doubt, throw it out. I was informed by one of the environmental stewardship members, or a few of them, that Iowa does recycle, but all of our recycling goes into making new and better products. So when we contaminate the recycling bin with a Tupperware plastic, that plastic is different from a milk carton, which then contaminates that plastic, which makes it not a good sell for our plastics in Iowa. So we want to be better to make sure that everything is approved and people are buying products from Iowa. Oh, and then one last thing, I've been talking to John a lot and we've been discussing our recycling bins at Edgewater. He's ordered some brand new, beautiful blue recycling bins, and those are going to be placed in the rooms. So we're going to keep that continuous throughout Edgewater, make sure it's very consistent. And again, you can go down to the concierge desk and grab your recycling how-to specifically made for Edgewater and Des Moines area recycling. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. All right, well, let's talk about some team member anniversaries for April. 1 year with Edgewater, Jack Turner in security and James Brown, our safety and security coordinator. 2 years at Edgewater, Suzanne Lindeman at the concierge desk and Nakir Kaur in housekeeping. 3 years, Elisa Subasic, dietary aide in our health center. 4 years, Naleli Perez, another dietary aide. Charlotte Sanusi, a CNA in the health center. 5 years with Edgewater, Nelson Cruz, a dishwasher in the kitchen. And 6 years, Mike Doty, a cook in the kitchen. So we thank all of these individuals for their service to Edgewater and congratulate them on their anniversaries. And our team member of the month for April, you probably haven't seen her in a while, is Jenna Krieg. Jenna works tirelessly to find exciting, interesting, and unique activities for our independent living residents to enjoy. She maintains a positive attitude that is contagious to all that interact with her. She's a go-getter and is always willing to help her team members in other areas of the community. Jenna is an excellent advocate for residents and team members, and she makes Edgewater a better place to live and work every single day. Congratulations, Jenna, our April team member of the month. We are very, very proud of you and the work that you do. And when I think of her being characterized as a go-getter, I think her last presentation is indicative of that. So thanks for all you do, Jenna. So news you can use. Our next memorial service for Edgewater will be Thursday, April 15th at 10:30 a.m. At this service, we will be honoring Ella Quiner and Warren Snell. We will have a monthly service following a death of any Edgewater resident. And in December, we will do an end-of-year service to remember and recognize all we have lost throughout the year. So those are just friendly reminders of our services and how we do them. But for the month of April, again, we'll be honoring Ella Quiner and Warren Snell. two icons within our community that we want to make sure we honor, and that will take place in the Event Center on April 15th at 10:30 a.m. Some other news you can use. This is for assisted living. Executive Council meeting minutes, which are generally distributed throughout the community, but sometimes, and for the most part, have missed the assisted living community, will now be distributed to assisted living residents in an effort to help our entire community feel more connected. The minutes will be posted in the AL mailroom area. They additionally will be gone over during the AL Town Hall meeting with feedback gathered from residents. So I applaud the Executive Council and all of our team members, as well as residents that have voiced their desire to have a more inclusive community with respect to the Executive Council, and appreciate Steve's leadership and everyone who is helping to bring that about. So for our residents in assisted living, we hope this will, bring more information to you and help you feel more connected to what's going on through the Executive Council. I want to give an update on Beacon Springs, our memory care area. Reconstruction of Beacon Springs started this week with major work being completed quickly. In fact, this week, almost all drywall has gone back up, and they are working very rapidly. I think we have anywhere from 15 to 20 people working over there on any given day. We are thrilled with the progress made this week. We now, as we have had openings occur in our health center, in long-term care area, we have been bringing our residents back from the other communities where they were sent to during this catastrophe. We now have residents back from Brio and Wesley Acres. And the only community that now has any residents from Edgewater and our Beacon Springs community is residents at the Village, and we will continue to work as openings occur to bring those residents back as we get closer to renovations and reconstruction being completed. I will tell you, I'm very happy not only with the progress, but everything that's been done from a design perspective to really renovate and bring about change in the look and the feel of Beacon Springs. It's going to be a beautiful area when we are finished, and we are grateful, and I think all residents, families, and everyone will feel a very big difference in what they see and what they feel in that area. Right now, we do not believe by the time we get everything done that it will be before June 1st, before we will have Beacon Springs ready to go. And I put that date out there with the hope and optimism that it might be before that, but that's kind of where we're looking with respect to how things are moving. So hopefully by June 1st, we'll have all of our residents back and Beacon Springs back open and functioning again. And I want to thank John and all of his leadership around this. There's been a lot to tackle for John and the team taking on the oversight of this, but I am confident it's going to be beautiful and look great, and we will complete it in a timely manner. So thanks, everyone. Additional news you can use: the awnings on the front of the building outside the main entrance are being replaced. We did get feedback, and before that feedback even came, we were already looking at them. They were looking really bad, and in fact, they did not match in color. We had two that were blue, and the others were orange. Those are all being replaced. We will be completing replacement of all of them over the next couple of months. So we're doing about 2 to 3 a month to get them all completed. And eventually they will all be orange and all new. So if you have not seen the new ones that are already replaced out there, I encourage you to go out and take a look. But thank you, John, for getting that going, and everyone who provided feedback on the importance of addressing that. Some additional news you can use: we've noticed that the Edgewater sign out on Mill Civic is not lit up. Lighting will be added to the Edgewater sign on Mill Civic. Currently, there is no lighting, which makes it very difficult to see our sign in the evenings. This should be completed within the next month, we hope. So more to come on that, but I think we will have it done the next month. Visitors, additional news you can use, and this is a repeat from last month's community update, but visitors are welcome to Edgewater in all areas of the building, only during concierge hours. This ensures all visitors get the proper screenings. Hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Renovation update. Renovation of the Performing Arts Center, the chapel, meditation room, and group fitness room has now started. Painting and light fixtures are currently being completed, with carpeting and flooring coming over the next several weeks. They are making they are making good time working through it. And I was just walking through the Performing Arts Center before this meeting, and the ceilings are becoming white, and it is just brighter, happier, and looks a lot bigger. So I think everybody is going to be and see a big difference when this section of the renovation is complete. And I'm excited to get the PAC not only completed from renovation, but be able to, as Steve mentioned, get us all back in person in that room for meetings like this. I want to give a special thanks to Terry, Chef Mark, Rachel, and the entire food and beverage team for a nice Easter brunch, considering our renovation and return to normal from COVID. We had to make some last minute decisions and changes around the Easter brunch due to the renovation starting and not having the Performing Arts Center. But I did receive a lot of feedback, emails, telephone calls, and I know Terry has as well, from many of you that expressed that it was a nice day. And so thank you to the entire food and beverage team and Rachel for bringing a nice Easter to us coming out of COVID and going through renovation. And that is all that I have. I want to give a thank you to our entire team for their continued dedication and hard work to bring our community back to normal operations. As each day goes by and more people are getting vaccinated, I think last I heard we're at about 3 million vaccinations a day nationwide. So as more and more people become vaccinated, we will return to more and more of a normal operating and a more normal life here at Edgewater. But I want to thank all of our team for their continued dedication and hard work throughout all of this time. So thank you to all of you. I hope that you have a great afternoon, and we appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you all soon.